It does seem on the face of it that there are some inconsistencies with the way that investigation resulted in those fixed penalty notices going to some people who attended events for some time but others for not. And potentially one of the reasons there is that the Met may well have been looking at not just who attended those events but for how long they were there at those events and what they did in those events. By all accounts, the Prime Minister at this particular leaving event on the 13th of November 2020 walked into the room, stayed in the doorway, had his red box with him and raised a glass of wine as he gave a leaving speech. Now, if he left shortly after giving that speech, few would assume that that was a party. However, if he had stuck around into the many hours after in that office drinking and chatting, potentially that would then become a social event. That might be one of the reasons as to why there is a differentiation there, but ultimately the police haven't explained why there is that differentiation, and so potentially that raises more questions. And it's notable that the acting head of the Met will be appearing before the London Assembly on Thursday. No doubt many questions to this end will be asked of him, but potentially that will not be necessary because, of course, we're expecting that Sue Gray report to come out most likely tomorrow. Of course, if it comes out any later than that, Parliament will need to sit for longer than it ordinarily does. MPs often going home around lunchtime on Thursday. Wednesday seems like the sensible time at which this report may be published, potentially around midday tomorrow, and then maybe the Prime Minister would answer questions on it tomorrow afternoon in the House, because we do know now that the Prime Minister is hosting a meeting of the 1922 committee, all those backbench Conservative MPs, tomorrow evening. That seems to be something that would fit with that time frame, and potentially this report, going into all of the detail that it does, releasing all the photographs that it will, potentially that will provide quite a few more answers for everyone with regard to this situation.